Dr. Kohli, taking a leaf out of what the External Affairs Minister said, that it's perplexing, it's obfuscating, it's really on the lines of misguiding the world as well when America imposes these kind of expectations from India. However, in every calamity there is an opportunity. Should India at this point in time do what it has always done, Dr. Kohli, and that is look at the glass half full?
Yeah, good evening, Vineet. Good evening to my fellow panelists and NewsX viewers. Yes, I think the Trump drama carries on, and the funny statements they keep coming out. That now the statements are very direct. They say that India is funding the Russian war, and it sounds ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, because in 2022 when Russia-Ukraine started, it was, and what the External Affairs Minister said is he's right, because at that time, it was America who said that to keep the market stable, to bring stability in the oil prices, it's okay, you can keep buying from Russia, because otherwise if the whole pressure falls on the Middle East, obviously the price rise would happen and it would destabilize the geo-economic situation at that point of time. Well, there might have been a different party ruling at that time. It was the Democrats. But that doesn't mean that the country's policy changed. And for America to say that India is funding the Russian war, it's absolutely ridiculous statement. It is directly holding India responsible for the deaths which are happening in Ukraine. I think that, you cannot be more far-fetched than that, actually. And it is very convenient to let China off the hook when the biggest buyer of oil from Russia is China. Why China is not being named? It's been given 3 months grace, the so-called grace by the Trump administration. They were first 3 months, there's another 3 months, simply because there are those rare earth magnets and minerals which are coming from China and some of the other very important things in America which are needed from China. So it's a very convenient sanction, I would say. You impose sanctions when you need it. You don't impose sanctions when you don't need it, And more than 30 times, the statement has been repeated about President Trump having stopped the war. And because India did not ratify that statement, India did not confirm that statement. So probably that might have been one of the reasons why he's irked against India. And hence Brazil and India are the two exceptional countries in the world who have been slapped with 50% tariffs. But having said that, I'm very clear. As an economist, Vineet, I'm very, very clear. We should be least bothered about it. I agree, $50 billion of our export has been impacted. Or rather, I would say from 27th of August, if that tariff comes on ground, it would be impacted. Or there's going to be some exemptions here and there. There may be some time-based exemption. I'm told that the freight which would be on sea, probably until October will be exempt. That's what I've been told. That might, although with President Trump, you can never say anything. Even for pharmaceuticals and electronics, we cannot product. But assuming the situation as of today, $50 billion is what has been impacted. I think the recent announcements made in the GST, Vineet, one of the objectives of doing this is to make sure that we start selling our goods within the country. There is a demand boost. There is a consumption boost given to the economy by way of the GST relaxation or the next gen GST reforms, as they are being called, by reducing the number of rates from 4 to 2, although the number of rates are more, but 90% of the products becoming cheaper. So I think it's an incentive to the exporters that come and sell in India, don't depend on the American markets. That's step one. Step two, we have the whole world to look after as far as our exports are concerned. We've got Europe, we've got Africa, we've got Southeast Asia, we've got Far East, we've got Australia. I think that the whole America is not the end of the world. America is not the beginning of the world. So I think it is high time that we start looking in other directions. And what Prime Minister said from the ramparts of Red Fort, that Atmanirbhar call is very important. Now this Atmanirbharta, a lot of people, ever since Atmanirbhar call was given, was being construed as only for imports. But here is a time now, Atmanirbhar from an export perspective also. The message is, do not depend in inverted commas. Wherever there is dependence, either on export or on import, I think the problem. And step three, India getting closer to China. Prime Minister's first, Mr. Ajit Doval went, the NSA. Then the foreign minister came to India, Wang Yi came. And now President is planning to, so what Donald Trump is doing, he's bringing adversaries together. I think he's going to regret this because India and China coming together and Russia, we are all forming a team now I think America should have a reason for getting some sleepless nights for that matter. So we can look at other markets. And by the way, a data came yesterday, which is saying that India's exports to China, this is to be very carefully noted, India's exports to China have started increasing, which means the things which China was not importing from India, it is allowing that. And also China has allowed us to now import the rare earth magnets, the fertilizers, and those tunnel boring machines. These three items were blocked by China at the time when this whole thing started. And we were facing problems because of those items, because the quantum of infrastructure development happening in India, tunnel boring machines from China were playing a very key role. Fertilizers for rabi crop, potassium, I don't know, I don't remember the name of the fertilizer. That's second. And then the third item was rare earth magnets, when Prime Minister announced 1,200 new excavation sites, the sites for exploring the minerals. So I think India getting closer to China and India becoming self-dependent, Atmanirbhar, is the key. I repeat that and I conclude this part of my statement. America is not the beginning of the world. America is not the end of the world. Vineet.
Right, absolutely.